Welcome everybody to episode 81 of the Gaming Hub podcast. I'm your host Tyler, joined as always by our two co-hosts. Let's start with Graham. Graham, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm not gonna lie, it was a long day at work, out in the cold in Canada. I don't have the luxury of being in warm tropical places like some people, but yeah, feel good now. It's the weekend. I don't have hockey on Saturday, which kind of missed that, but I'm gonna try to make that up by getting some games in and some couch time.
Nice,
How you doing?
I'm good. It was,
Good.
it was a week of work. Couple days of the week were a little on the rough side. They seem like they took forever, but hey, we're at the weekend, so it's good. And unfortunately, there's no real sports to watch this weekend. But other than that, life's good.
Well, I don't know, Tyler. It is a pretty
There's
big
some
weekend
hockey.
for a lot of people.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
The first NFL preseason game's on this weekend.
Sure, and the Premier League is on. You know, at the transfer deadline just ended. My team just did some moves that might save their season a little bit, maybe.
And the Leafs had
Oh.
back-to-back shutouts, so we're talking sports.
Oh, we don't care about them. That's
We were hopping all over the map. We went football to
Soccer.
football to
Yeah,
hockey.
football to
and-
football to football everywhere in the world except America.
But if you're listening and one of your teams is in the Super Bowl, good luck. Hope it goes well. Being from the great state of Minnesota, originally, my teams never get there. So even when we host it, that's the closest we'll get to going to the Super Bowl is
at least
in our hometown. So, but good luck to if you're out there and you're a fan of either the Eagles or that other team.
Go Eagles.
Yeah. So it'd be really nice if Boston could get a sports title.
yeah.
Just saying. But they've been going a long time without one. But anyway, Steve, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. I've been fighting off some sickness. I had a minor cold last weekend, and then the flu has just been massacring my workplace. So I've been like terrified that I've been getting it. Probably so paranoid that I'm gonna get it. I've been like imagining symptoms, maybe.
Yeah. Like
all that nasty winter weather in Southern California.
Yeah, it's awful.
Takes its toll.
It was 90 degrees on Monday here. So yeah,
Oh, God.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
It's-
trade you for in a heartbeat. I hate the heat.
Well, it's approximately 83 degrees colder than that here. So, yeah, it's a good time. We're having a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
and snow on the way. So we're excited.
But other
Yeah.
than that, I mean, I just been, doing work, school, and playing some games. I've been playing Celeste. I'm almost through with it. I think I have one. I'm on the last chapter. I have one little like 5 screens. I don't know what you'd call them, subsections before I beat it. I've
Sure.
quite enjoyed that game. I highly recommend for $20.
Yeah, both of
Yeah.
you guys have played it. Graham, what do you think?
I also have jumped on the death train. I played Celeste. I really enjoy the game. It's a great platformer. It's pretty tough, but very rewarding once you get by there. And they have these strawberries strategically placed to make the game even more difficult. So if you want to try that, just to add to the intensity of the game, that is there. And also, I've been playing Cuphead and dying a lot in that game too. I'm not gonna lie. I've vicariously died many times throughout the week. But the game is super fun. I kind of wish I got on it early, but it's one of those games where it really don't matter when you jump on play that game.
Nope.
And it's very cool. Like, I love the soundtrack. I love the art direction. It won an award, right, for best art direction. Is that true?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And
So deservingly so. Like, it's such a cool game, and
it is.
it is, the difficulty is starting to ramp up. I'm on the second island where I think Steven said he gave up and quit.
Yeah, I didn't quit. I just taken a hiatus. Okay.
Sure.
So, yeah, I played a little bit of Cuphead too. Not this week, but I played it, and it is not easy, but it's really fun.
Yeah, and it makes you just want to keep going and going and stuff like that. But like, it's one of those games where you get like complacent and you make stupid mistakes or something like this. It's like, So
Yeah.
you pretty
God,
much got to be really good to get through it.
That's like me playing chess. I miss a move and then my rook gets taken and I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Steve's still playing chess on Xbox a lot. So,
Yeah, come
yeah.
play me. Challenge me for the
Yeah.
title.
So the other game we played was Monster Hunter World.
Oh yeah. we
Yes,
did
you
do
guys
that.
have.
And thoughts on that, Steve?
Oh, I've been having a blast. I wish we could play more just due to time constraints with everything else. We haven't played that much since the weekend, but I'm hoping, if you are so inclined, that we will play it again. We are stuck fighting the Anjanath. I actually tried doing that today by myself and did not get any farther than we got, Tyler. So
Yeah. Well, it's a T-Rex that has wings and breathes fire, so that's fun.
Super fun.
That sounds like something I wouldn't want to run into.
But the game, I can talk about the game two different ways. Like, I really enjoy the game in terms of the gameplay, the world, all that stuff, the creatures, like the monsters. It's really fun. I absolutely hate the co-op and multiplayer aspect of the game. It's just the way they did it and built it. Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's like, because each person has to go watch the cutscene on their own before they can co-op together. It just really makes no sense. Like, for what is a great game, and like the multiplayer works well otherwise, but just that, it's like, it's kind of dumb. It's kind of stupid.
It's just really like tedious to do over and over and over. And, games like this could really take a cue from Destiny on how Destiny does their, party or fire team system, because it's one thing they do super well. Like, you can travel everywhere together, you're all in the same thing, you never get separated, it's great. Yeah. So, but other than that, Monster Hunter's awesome. I'm actually really liking it, and I was probably the one that wouldn't have liked it out of us. So, the fact that I'm enjoying it, speaks to the game. Usually not my type of game, but I'm actually really having a lot of fun. So, awesome. So that's it. We've been streaming Monster Hunter, and if you'd like to watch that, follow us on Twitch. So head on over there, and in the show notes, when you download the podcast, just take a look there. We'll have all the links for you for Twitch, for Facebook, our Facebook group. It's growing. We're really happy. Welcome everybody that joined this week.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. And we've got a lot of good conversation going on in there, which is great. Also, Discord we'll have there as well. A lot of people joining that and getting some good conversation going there too. So we really appreciate that. Love to see the community continue to grow.
Yes.
And please be part of it.
And speaking of streaming, I was streaming Fallout 4. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was testing out on some mods and survival mode, and I was doing really good. I don't know if it's because of the pressure of being streamed, but things were going good, and then things went bad, and then I died. And
That's funny.
The one thing, when you're playing on survival mode, you only can save when you rest in a bed. So if you didn't rest in bed shortly, you have to backtrack like an hour or whatever. I think I had to backtrack half an hour, so got a little disheartened, and I kind of gave up at that point because I was about 4 hours in anyway, so I figured I need a break. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be streaming more of that. You guys can watch me, see if I get any further, or see if I just give up.
Is that like New Vegas, where you turn on survival mode, but you can still change the difficulty of like the enemies from easy through whatever hard? Or is survival mode its own difficulty in this one?
It's its own difficulty, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
All right, because New Vegas had it where you could play on easy, but you had survival mode on, so you still had to like eat and sleep. And
but it was really easy. Okay, yeah.
That makes more sense. All right.
Cool. And then final plug, we promise, for all your gaming news, head on over to the xboxhub.com. We started a relationship with them about a week ago. It's been great so far. Really enjoying it. And Steve, actually... So, Steve, tell us, you had your first article ever published. How's that?
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. It feels...
What was it about?
It's about Kingdom Come Deliverance, the game that comes out in approximate, or a little under 2 weeks. I think comes out the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 13th. So you might be able to get it the 12th at 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern. It should be region specific.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like it's a game like Skyrim, but without the fantasy. That's as best I can describe it. But if you want to see more in detail, you can go check out the website, the Xbox Hub, and then search for the article. It's Kingdom Come, or it's My Hopes and dreams for Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
But it feels like, I guess, surreal in a way. Like I just never would have thought that I'd ever have a article published online.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool feeling. I put some up earlier this week too, just kind of thoughts on the Sea of Thieves beta, some of the stuff that we experienced playing it. And Graham, we're looking forward
Yes.
to your first contribution.
Once I see something that catches my eye and I feel like I have some good content to contribute, I will be jumping all over that.
Yep, Graham writes some good stuff.
Stay
so
tuned.
looking forward to see what he puts out there.
As Steve would say, I didn't quit. I'm on a hiatus.
Yeah, exactly.
I will return.
Yeah. So again, thexboxhub.com. So include the word "the" in there. So thexboxhub.com for all the latest in your Xbox news. So with that, let's head into our top 5 news items of the week, and let's start with the big one that had people talking. A rumor that circulated over the course of the week that Microsoft might be looking to acquire EA, Valve, or Bluehole, which is the developer of PUBG. Your thoughts, guys?
That is some huge news, especially the first two. I don't know what else Bluehole does besides PUBG. It wouldn't surprise me if they bought them because they probably could. But EA or Valve is a big thing. I'd prefer Valve for reasons like we could get Steam Link straight on the Xbox, and so you can play Steam games on your Xbox, which would be awesome. And that'd probably, going back to last week, kind of confirm the mouse and keyboard support if they buy Valve, because now you'd have a need for it to play like Civilization or whatever you have.
Stars are aligning, man.
But EA would also be cool because you then get games probably like Anthem would be, if not exclusive, then like heavily favored on the Xbox. Kind of like Destiny gets their own strike on PlayStation. I could see them doing something similar for Xbox. What do you guys think?
Well,
Graham, you want to go first? Go.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, these are 3 big companies. Steven, I pretty much agree with almost everything he said. Like PUBG would probably be the cheaper one of that, so that would be the easier one for them to obtain. Valve, the fact, like you said, about Steam Link, and that, like I was saying about, I said stars aligning, but planets aligning. Like this could be like foreshadowing how everything is going to like sync up with like crossplay between like your PC and your Xbox and play anywhere. So this could be just another way of playing games on both systems and cross-platform. And EA, like, I don't know, that one seems like, I know they have the money and stuff like that, but I don't know if EA would just like want to sell to Microsoft, especially all the sports franchises. Like that would be huge if Microsoft got that. And they did have Lord of the Rings. I don't know if they still have that stuff. So, and they got the Star Wars. So there's a lot of huge ones in there. Like if Microsoft obtained that, like I'm curious how it would change the whole perspective of how things would be. Like maybe nothing would change. They'll just get the money. But yeah, out of the ones, I would say Bluehole is probably the most logical one. Valve, for reasons, would make sense. So I think maybe if I had picked one of them, it'd be one of those two. But I don't think it would be EA.
Yeah, I think
so. Graham, I'm going to disagree with you here.
All right.
Bluehole makes a ton of sense, right? But what does it really gain for Xbox at this point? Because right now, Xbox is the only console that you can play PUBG on anyway. Is that really moving a ton of consoles for Microsoft? I don't know. I mean, their hardware sales are up. We saw that this week. Microsoft never ever talks about the hardware sales, but the hardware they did this week. Their hardware sales are up. But I think a lot of that has to do with the One X coming out, and not so much PUBG being on console.
And remember real quick that there is Fortnite Battle Royale that's on PlayStation, and that is it's similar enough that it's probably not moving a lot of consoles on there, like moving a lot of Xbox consoles. Oh, sorry.
So Valve would make a ton of sense for Microsoft, but I don't think they're going to be looking to sell. I think they've got too good a thing going, and I don't see that. But the more I thought about it, and we had some great conversation in our group about this week on Facebook, and the general consensus was that EA will never do this because they'll lose all these sales from going to from two consoles to one, and et cetera, et cetera. First of all, like, if they sold, it's not EA sales anymore, it's Microsoft sales. Like, EA would just be a developer at that point. They're no longer a publisher.
Yep.
So, like, you would not see EA Sports in the game across there. You'd see Microsoft Studios across there. And then you'd see, like, the developer name after that, whether it's, like, EA Tiburon or whatever. I think it makes a ton of sense for Microsoft to acquire EA. Because EA gets some really cool ideas. They're an established enough name that they could get licenses grabbed, like you said, with Star Wars. They don't have Lord of the Rings anymore, by the way, because the two Mordor games were published by someone else.
WB.
Okay.
Yep, WB. I think it makes a ton of sense for EA, though. And I don't think they'd make anything necessarily console exclusive. We'll talk about that later when we get to questions. But there's an established platform of games already there. It gives Microsoft a huge upper hand, and I think you can get into some content that's exclusive that would differentiate and separate it enough to make Xbox the place to play. And the idea that EA would never want to sell, that's bull. Everything's for sale if the price is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they came in, and Microsoft is the company that has the war chest to do this.
Mm-hmm. So where did this rumor come from?
I'm not sure. It was like somebody at Microsoft leaked it, and I don't know how legit it is. Nobody really knows. But But I think Polygon originally had the story, and they're fairly trusted, and I would think that they wouldn't run with it if they didn't feel good about the source.
Okay, I was just curious about that.
Yeah, and I could be wrong on Polygon, but I think it was. So I think it makes a ton of sense. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, this really, really makes sense for them. And we'll talk about what could be like there in terms of exclusivity when we get to fan mail, because we do have a question about it. But the one out of these that I see Microsoft really going after, if they want to make a giant splash and really get some attention and kind of overcome the stigma right now that they just don't have any exclusives, would be EA.
See, I agree with your premise, but I actually think the more I think about it, I think Valve would be better, because we might finally get a Half-Life 3 or Left 4 Dead 3 or Portal 3, and they all could be Microsoft exclusives. Plus, if they were trying to bring VR, does Valve have their own VR headset? I know they still have VR games. I don't know.
I don't think they have their own headset.
No, they don't have their own headset.
Okay.
No.
But I think Valve makes just as much sense as EA, because you already have that PC Xbox crossplay, and Steam's just better than the Windows Store on the Xbox. I mean, let's be real.
Sure.
So I would
though,
much rather see it.
I personally think the price for Valve would be astronomically higher than it would be for EA.
Oh, you would, eh?
Yep. And here's why. Because Valve owns Steam. And Valve makes money off of other people's games.
Yeah.
True.
So,
though, what about partnering up, though? I can see Microsoft I
can see a partnership, but then how does that really work? Because
Well,
how does that benefit Microsoft? Because if you have access to Steam, any PlayStation player can go play Steam. So it's not necessarily benefiting Microsoft in a huge way unless Valve agrees to develop some of their games that we'd love to see again and puts them exclusively on Xbox. But they've shown absolutely no interest in doing that.
Yeah, and like we were talking about how the Xbox needs more exclusives. So this would be a big step to obtaining a lot more exclusives all in one shot.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I think if we're going to see something, good chance we'd see it maybe by E3.
I think
they would like announce something like that at E3.
Wouldn't that be a bombshell if they announced it?
Yeah.
Although they won't, because let's say it's EA. EA's conference is the first one of the show, right? So it's always on that Saturday. and Microsoft doesn't go till Sunday. So would EA really have their conference and then Microsoft show up the next day and be like, guess what?
We just bought you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if there is no EA conference, they'll be like, what's going on?
No, I think it would be announced beforehand. Like,
yeah,
well, I think
that
it'd be
kind of
announced
makes
as soon as
sense.
it happened, if it happened.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say maybe they would have the Microsoft one first, but people wouldn't know about it. But they would have to schedule that, right? So I guess
Well-
that's a hard thing to make it surprise if it's scheduled, right?
No, what they would
Mhm.
do is they just show off. EA would just show off whatever games they have in development, and then Microsoft would do the thing where they like came out and be like, "Hey, big news! Like we now own EA."
Yep.
And all the games that were shown yesterday, all the non-sports titles, if we think it's going to be like that, are Microsoft
Yep.
exclusives. And
Impossible.
there's a bombshell without like ruining. There's a reason for EA to still have their conference, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
And yeah. So anything further on that, guys?
no.
All right, Steve, you're up next with some very sad news.
Yeah, sad news indeed. Red Dead Redemption 2. It's got, or finally has a confirmed release date of October 26, 2018. That hurts to say. I was hoping for like June or May, but more realistically June, and not coming out till October. This hurts.
Remember, this is the second delay for this game. This game
Oh,
was
yeah.
supposed to come out in the fall of 17. And they delayed it until spring of 18 to say, hey, we just need to do a little bit more to polish the game. You know, you always hear that word polish.
Hmm.
Yep.
And now they need to polish it again. So they're going to polish it for a year.
I almost have a bet as to what my money's on online. That's the
Oh,
reason.
for sure.
Because Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
didn't have it for like 6 months, so I almost that's where the smart money is right there. It's because of Red Dead's online, because they know
Oh.
that makes some money. So
Absolutely. That's 100% why this is happening. That's my opinion anyway. And remember, not only did GTA's online not launch until later, it didn't work very well at first.
yeah,
So I think
Yeah.
they want to avoid that type of situation again and just have it work seamlessly at launch. You know, at the end of the day, once October rolls around, I'm going to be really excited to play. I'm going to get it on day one,
sure.
and it's going to be great. I just thought this would have been the perfect game for late spring, early summer to kind of carry you through. No, nothing else to really grab your attention, games-wise. And I just thought it would have been great. So I'm sad because I was kind of counting on it because they did tell us spring, and you know, but hopefully games like Sea of Thieves and Far Cry 5 will keep us going until then. So
Yeah, and like for people, like they're still playing GTA online too, right? So it's not like they need to rush out and get something there for people to play
yes, but
because it's
I'm
like
not.
it's still being supported. Yeah, I know you're not.
Yeah.
And
You're
Me
being
neither.
selfish, Tyler. You gotta
Yeah,
think of
we
other
are.
people.
No, we don't.
because gamers are never selfish, Graham.
Ever.
No. So, but Graham, speaking of Far Cry 5,
Yes.
do you have
Speaking of,
anything about that?
I think I do. Ubisoft has announced the DLC coming for Far Cry 5. This DLC can be obtained in Season Pass. And as if we've not talked about it enough, or I've talked about how much I'm tired of the saturation of it, you still have another medium to play zombies at. Zombie hordes. If you guys haven't had enough of it, then they will have a DLC for you zombie fanatics. And it is called Dead Living Zombies.
Mhm.
Such a zombie title too, right?
It totally is.
Yeah. And luckily, that's not the only DLC. There's two other ones. One is called Hours of Darkness and Lost on Mars. Now, Hours of Darkness brings you back to the Vietnam War, and Lost on Mars kind of implies you are on Mars and you fight arachnid alien monsters, which sounds pretty terrifying.
Sounds like
Yeah.
spiders, so I'm probably not gonna. I'm gonna skip that one.
That would be a spider, yes.
Yeah.
Alien
Usually
spider, too.
arachnids mean spiders.
Yeah.
So this game launches on March 27th, and like I said, the DLC will be included in the Season Pass, and Season Pass holders will also get access to Far Cry 3's single-player campaign. Now, I have not played any of the Far Cry games, so I'm guessing either one of you guys have, so maybe you guys can elaborate on
So-
maybe Far Cry 3 single?
Yeah, I'll go first real
campaign?
quick, because Steve, I think you might be able to speak to this a little more than me, but I know Far Cry 3 is really highly regarded in the series. So this is kind of a big get for people, and I know it's supposed to come out as a standalone in July. But
Yeah.
if you pre-order or you get the season pass, then you get it at the end of March. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the incentive there. But Steve, any additional thoughts on that?
To clarify, it's 4 weeks earlier than the release date. I don't think that's the end of March. I think it's supposed to be.
Okay, so
So,
you don't
like-
get it at the time
Yeah.
that the game that Far Cry 5 launches. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I read. Anyways,
and I actually like that better, because then you can get through the Far Cry 5 story, right,
Yeah,
and then go back and play 3.
yeah,
that's
you don't
probably what
need-
you're thinking too.
You
Yeah.
don't need to play Far Cry 3 or 4 to understand Far Cry 5. Each of them are their
Yeah.
own stories. But yes, Far Cry 3 is the best Far Cry game in the series. It has the best enemies, or the best antagonist.
Mhm.
Though 4 wasn't terrible, I guess. But yeah, 3 was just amazing. So I'm excited for these DLCs and for the game, and I can't wait for March 27th because I'm excited to go to Montana with a gunship.
All right, sounds good to me. All right, so up next, number 4 in our news. EA had an investor call this week. They didn't say they're selling, but they did reveal that Respawn's Star Wars action game, which I'm really looking forward to. Respawn, the makers of Titanfall, and I really want to see what they do with Star Wars. It's going to be coming between April 2019 and March 2020, so possibly just a little over a year away. And a new Battlefield game is confirmed for this year. So when they moved Anthem back, because they pushed Anthem back to 2019, another sad story to tell, they did say that they were pushing it back to make room for a new Battlefield game and have them not compete with each other. So we're getting a new Battlefield game this fall. And they did also say that there's no guarantee that Star Wars Battlefront 3 would release in their fiscal year ending 2020, which is between April 19 and March 20 of 2020. So, I don't know, any thoughts? I think it wouldn't be the worst thing ever if they stopped pushing Battlefront out every 2 years. I think that game needs some time to kind of sit back and take a look at what's happening, also kind of get the bad taste out of people's mouths.
Yeah, I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be after the action game for sure, I think.
Yeah, because when it's scheduled and it's forced to be out at a certain time, well, sometimes it's kind of rushed, or they haven't really thought about all the other directions they could go with the game and stuff like that. So Assassin's Creed is a good example. People just got tired of playing the yearly iterations of it.
Yep.
And Origins was kind of a breath of fresh air. People were okay, now I'm glad to get back into it again. So they're probably maybe 3 years or whatever until next Assassin's Creed. Who knows? But I think when they're scheduled for every year, they need more time to develop it and maybe go with hardware changes. Who knows? Offer more. So yeah, I don't think that's bad news.
Yeah, I mean, I get they want to put the game out alongside the movie, right? But with episode 7, 8, 9, I get it. But that's what happened with the first game, Graham. What you're talking about is they really rushed it. That's why it had no campaign.
Yeah.
And the game, it looked great and it sounded great. It just wasn't complete.
Yeah.
So, I loved what I played of it, but I just didn't play it very long because there wasn't a whole lot of things to do. So I think Battlefront 2 was better in that regard because it offered you the campaign.
Yeah, that was my
wasn't too
favorite.
bad.
That was my favorite part for sure.
Yeah, and I liked the maps and the worlds better in Battlefront 2 than I did in the first one. But there's such a bad taste in people's mouth about it at this point that I think it might need that 3-year period to kind of cool off and go after it then and bring out Battlefront 3 at that point. Steve, anything?
Nothing really about Star Wars. I mean, I don't really want to see another Battlefront, but the new Battlefield game is exciting if it's Bad Company 3, which I've heard rumors about.
That's true, but they did say that rumor got dispelled. So don't know. I mean, that could all be smoke and mirrors though too, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know.
I think it was Bad Company 2 that had the Vietnam expansion, which was one of my favorite expansions across video games. It was just a great game. And then every Battlefield since hasn't been as fun. So I'm curious where the setting will be, because we've gone full circle, and now we're back at like World War I and World War II. So
Yeah.
And I really like the story in that game too. Actually,
I didn't play that.
2.
Oh, Bad Company 2, yeah, Bad Company 2.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, like Battlefield 1. As much as I love the maps and multiplayer, and I had a good time with the game, they need to do something different story wise, because I didn't enjoy like the little chapter things they had where you're doing like different stories throughout the game.
Yeah.
It wasn't cohesive, and I just think they could do it better. When you're telling a story about World War One, which there are never games about World War One really, you could have done a lot more with that. So, without making it like Call of Duty over the top.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, one of the best World War One. One of the best war books was about World War One. All Quiet on the Western Front.
For sure. So, yeah, looking forward to that. So, Steve, what do you got for us for number 5?
All right, last topic is the Games Pass titles are now available for February. So there's a few games added, including Halo Wars 2, NBA 2K17, and WWE 2K17. Also new is Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition and the puzzle game Rime that came out not too long ago. And finally, a backwards compatible Xbox 360 game, Fable Anniversary, joins Game Pass. So that's now both Darksiders games in Games Pass, all 3 Fable games in Games Pass, and I think Halo Wars 1 is also in Games Pass, so now you have both Halo Wars. So if you needed a reason and any of those games sound fun, that might be a reason to start. But it'd be nice to play through all the Fable games again, since there's new rumors about Fable, like a new Fable mainline game, which we talked about last week. So, Graham, I know you've been wanting to play the Fable games. Thoughts?
I have, like, soon as I knew that OG of original Xbox games were coming out, I'm like, okay, Fable, because that was a game like I just barely played, but I love 2 and I love 3, so I was thinking about getting it just before the Sea of Thieves, like the Game Pass thing, and now that I see that game and Halo Wars 2, like I enjoyed the first Halo Wars. I like those types of games. So for $10 a month, I really don't have anything to lose. So I'm pretty sure this will be the month that I start, and I'll probably continue because like Sea of Thieves is next month, and who knows, right? For $10, it's a great deal. So I think this is gonna be the one to do it for me. Do you guys have Game Pass? Are you guys just gonna get you guys on? Game
Pass? But this is gonna be the list that gets me to get it, along with Sea of Thieves on the horizon. So yeah. Absolutely.
I already have Games Pass. I haven't played too much on it, to be honest. I mean, I'm meaning to play Mad Max, but it's just been sitting there in my download screen.
Yeah.
I haven't felt like playing it.
Yeah, like it's great for people who don't have like the back catalog like we have. Like if people just like are not buying like games like new releases, this is a great way for them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one avenue of getting games for really cheap. And another one, meaning free, that's pretty cheap, is Games with Gold. You guys can get Shadow Warrior. That's all of February on Games with Gold. And also you have Zombie and Split Second. And both those titles are available till the 15th. Now, I haven't played any of these games. Well, no, sorry, I played Zombie. Played it on the Wii U. You guys have any interest in these games?
Barely, some in Shadow Warrior.
That's it, eh?
Yeah. I mean, we were hearing from a lot of people in chat on Facebook and in Discord that they were looking forward to these titles, and I think especially Shadow Warrior, if I remember right. And we saw some people talk about Split Second as well. So, they seem to be games that people are looking forward to. So give them a go.
Yeah, I just don't need another racing game when I already have Forza Horizon 3 and it's in 4K.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and Forza 7, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so if you're not looking at the free games, and you want to know what you can pay them in stores next week, there's quite a few to pick from, and it's kind of like indie title week. A lot of indie games coming out, but some good stuff in there. So on the 6th, you can get Marooners, Dendara, Mercenary Kings, Reloaded Edition. So you can get those 3 titles on the 6th. On the 7th, you can pick up Pinstripe, which I know a lot of people are really raving about. Looking forward to Pinstripe quite a bit. Little Triangle and Die, DYE. So on the 9th, Bleed 2. You can also pick up Overdriven Reloaded Special Edition or Starpoint Gemini Warlord. So those are all the new games coming out next week. Like I said, a lot of indie titles, but some really good stuff in there. So, all right, take it away with sales. Steven, what can we get deals on?
So one of the big deals, my personal favorite, is you can get This Is the Police for $6 American or €5.50.
Half.
That's $5.50. All right, Graham. But anyways, it's a little game. It's about like corruption, and you got to send like police cars and to different crimes, and your policemen are like they have levels. It's kind of like a little strategy game. It's a little fun little indie title, worth picking up. All the main sports games are on sale, like NHL, FIFA, and Madden. Madden's super cheap right before the Super Bowl, but it's probably going to go to EA Access like literally 2 weeks after. So if you're not extremely itching for the new Madden, I would wait. But you can get NHL and FIFA, and those probably won't come to the EA Access for a little bit. All the editions of Forza Horizon 3 are on sale, and finally, all the Naruto games are on sale. So if you want an anime fighting game that has decent story and blah, 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 and you don't want to drop $60 on Dragon Ball, you can pick up the Naruto games. So, any thoughts on those? Or should we just go right into questions?
Oh, take us away.
Might as
All
well.
right. So, first question from Alex Sullivan. If Microsoft were to buy EA, how much of that portfolio would they want as exclusive? It would be very costly, in my opinion, to have those sports licenses and make them exclusives.
So, thoughts on this, guys? I mean, I do. I just want to see what you guys think.
Yeah, I think NHL could be exclusive just because it's kind of smaller audience. There's no way NFL would be, or the National Football League would be okay with Madden being exclusive. I really, that would cost an arm and a leg. So I think that would not be. Same with FIFA, just because those are two big titles that are across, like I know a lot of people play. But a lot of the other portfolio, like the single player games, could be. Mm-hmm. You might see your Mass Effects and Dragon Ages becoming exclusive. No guarantees, but
yeah,
likely.
I'll say this: like for sports titles, I don't think the NFL would care. I just think the license costs way too much. Alex is right; the license costs way too much to make that exclusive to one console. But what I could see happening is there's one mode that drives sports games today, and that's Ultimate Team, and that's the reason that we keep seeing even the less profitable games like NHL, because Ultimate Team still makes them a ton of money. So I could see some exclusive Ultimate Team content, which would get people pretty fired up, especially if it's really good content. So exclusive sets, exclusive collections, things like that. And I definitely see that. But Steve, I'm with you thinking that games like Anthem. Anthem's a prime candidate if they were to buy EA to be Xbox One exclusive.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So I could see games like that. I could see games like not Need for Speed. They don't need another exclusive racing title. So, in fact, Need for Speed might go away. Honestly.
Or combined with Forza. They might combine those.
Yeah.
Need for Forza.
But my prediction from last week might come true. If they buy EA, we might get a baseball game finally. So you never know. But
let's hope.
Never know.
Yeah, I see the shooters, especially games like Anthem, like new IPs coming out of there. I see being exclusive titles.
Yeah,
So.
I do agree with you on that, Tyler. I don't think we'll see the sports titles as exclusives. But like you guys mentioned before, Anthem, that would be a huge exclusive for Microsoft to get in their pretty much very shallow well of exclusives coming at us.
Yeah.
So I think like maybe this kind of what we're thinking, we need exclusives, but we don't have anything. So they're like, well, let's buy a publisher that will have these games. So maybe Anthem was the one that opened their eyes to it, because that to me seems like a great game. Like we keep comparing it to like Destiny. So like if Microsoft gets their own like kind of exclusive Destiny, that could be a console seller right there. But as far as sports titles, yeah, I don't think we'll see it just because people enjoy these games across all systems and they do well. So even like me, I would rather other people play it on other systems, even though Xbox is the better system. That's my opinion.
Wow, you're going to get people all fired up.
Bring
All
it.
right. Cool.
All right,
so what do we got next?
All right. Question 2 comes from Aaron Grunler. He asks, "Who do you think will have the better E3 conference this year? And do you think any of the companies have any megaton surprises for us?"
I like the Megaton reference.
Yeah. I guess I'll go first. I mean, it's hard to say who's going to have the best conference because we don't. All these like the console makers and the developers, they kind of focus on different things. I can tell you who's not going to have the best conference, and that's EA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say too.
Or Ubisoft.
Or Ubisoft, yeah.
If our predictions come true,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft will have a hell of an E3.
Yeah. So, Microsoft, I thought, had a fantastic conference last year.
Yeah.
I really thought it was pretty good. And I thought, for the first time in a while, it was better than Sony's. Now, some people disagreed, but
Some.
But the thing is that Sony has totally different goals.
Yep.
Sony's just going to throw everything they've ever thought of at you in that conference, so everybody can, and it's a good strategy because everybody walks away saying Sony won E3.
Yep.
And I mean, they're throwing ideas at you that they've literally just written down on like the hotel bar napkin the night before, and they've got it on screen there. So it's all right. I mean, there's games that they show that aren't coming out for years. Microsoft does a different strategy. They show stuff that, at least their intent is to have it out in the next 18 months. It's just a different strategy. And sometimes games get delayed, like Sea of Thieves we saw a couple years ago for the first time. But sometimes games get delayed. It happens. But there's different strategies. I thought maybe the best conference last year was Bethesda. I thought they did really well. So if they have another conference this year, first of all, we'll know we're probably getting a new Elder Scrolls game. Because why would they have one if they didn't have a big release to announce?
Yeah.
We just got another Evil Within, we got another Wolfenstein, and we just got Fallout a couple years ago. So we're not going to see any of those franchises. And we also just got Prey, right? And Doom 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see anything there. So it would have to be Elder Scrolls if they're going to do it.
But I was thinking,
go ahead.
Is it Obsidian? I think who did Fallout New Vegas?
Obsidian, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we might get an offshoot Fallout,
Sure.
Like New Orleans has been thrown around for a while. I don't know if that one's still because I think with going with their plan, that's basically maybe it's time for that. But who knows? Fallout 4 is still a great game, and I'm not sure. People are still playing it. As far as this question goes, who do I think will have the better E3? It's tough. I'm thinking in terms of potential. Like Sony could announce the new PS5 maybe, or just give a hint of it. Xbox could do the whole VR and Oculus Rift. So it all depends on what they announce. I'm definitely looking forward to Bethesda because they put out some of the best games I've ever played, and I have full faith and support in that company. But we don't know if they are going to have an E3. So it's tough to tell. I think overall it's going to be a great E3 for everyone.
For sure.
I think there's going to be a new PSVR probably going to be announced and maybe shown off. Definitely look forward to it. Yeah.
And don't forget Nintendo.
I was actually just going to mention Nintendo because they have some great titles that are in development. So maybe some of those are done or close to being done. And I think with the third party support Nintendo has and exclusives, they can do some major announcements. And we know that on their online thing paid is September. So they're going to give us a glimpse of what we're going to get with it. Because
for sure.
If it's basically what we have now, but we're paying for it, there's going to be a lot of people upset. And for me personally, I don't know. I really like the single player games. There's got to be something really to motivate me to pay for their online, which would be sad to see. Like not Mario Kart not having the support that it deserves.
Right.
So, maybe I think they'll announce a new Mario Kart. We haven't heard that, but this one's been rehashed for so long. It's time for a new Mario Kart.
Yeah. Well, it's won Game of the Year like 4 times.
Yeah, I know.
So, what I'm interested to see from Nintendo is what are they going to bring to us now that they've just released versions of their 2 biggest tentpole franchises?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Zelda and Mario are there, and they have lots of different iterations.
Like Kirby's
of Mario,
coming,
right? So they can
Yoshi's
do a lot
remakes.
of Mario things.
Yeah.
Yes,
Metroid.
we're going to see Breath of the Wild remastered.
Virtual Console is one of the biggest things I want to hear announced.
Oh my gosh, please. Or here's what I want to see. Since you guys want to take up all the good topics. Back to the original question, I think Microsoft needs to have the best E3 this year, at least a really good one again, because they had a good one last year, but they now need the games. We talked about this before. We're going to talk about it until they start announcing games. They have like 3 games that are coming out that are exclusives this year. They need games. So they need to have the best E3. Sony and Nintendo will probably be judged the winners just because Sony and Nintendo go after Microsoft. And that's just how that works. But back to Nintendo, I think Nintendo's probably going to give us some remakes. Like, I'd like to see a Mario collection maybe, like with Sunshine and maybe the Galaxy games. And I could see a Legend of Zelda collection with like Wind Waker, what was that other one? Twilight Princess, maybe Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Something like that. They probably won't bundle them together when they could sell them for $60 a piece and people would buy them.
And I'm $200 collector's edition.
Yeah, and I'm included in that. Like, let's be real here. But I'm excited to see some of the games that were announced back when the Switch was announced, like Project Octopath Traveler and the new Shin Megami Tensei game. These are JRPGs. So I'm hoping we see some release dates for those. I like my JRPGs, and Nintendo is my JRPG console. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would like to see.
Okay. Cool. All right, what else we got?
All right, last question. Ryan Schneider. What will be the next fad after Graham's favorite topic, zombies? Will zombies ever go away? I want more communist
I hope so.
games. So I'll go first with this one. I don't care if zombies do go away, but I want to see Left 4 Dead 3. So give me that, and then zombies can die in every other game. Because they do zombies the best Valve does, and I miss Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. So I really want Left 4 Dead 3. As far as next fad, that's a tough one. It went from vampires to zombies. So now I guess superheroes, but they haven't found a good way to do that in video games. Because I feel like the video games kind of follow the movie trends. So movies went from vampires and zombies, and then games kind of went to the zombie route. And then now that movies are in the superhero fad, I think video games could go that direction. And I would like to see some good superhero games. I just don't know if they can make ones Batman.
Steve, there's a big like Avengers title coming out sometime soon, isn't there? And I know I can't remember who's working on it, so I apologize. But I know somebody's working on a rather like a full AAA Avengers title, not Lego.
I did not hear about it.
Yeah, so that one, if it's going to work, that's going to be the one that does it. I almost feel like if they were going to make superheroes a big thing, they would have done it already in gaming. Because the superhero movie thing has been around for almost 10 years. Because the first Iron Man came out in, 2009?
Yeah, I was in high school.
So, I mean, we're getting close to 10 years now since that started. And we really haven't seen it yet. We've seen the Lego games take advantage of it, and they're fun. They're cool. But we haven't seen like a proper superhero game that works. Although I'm really interested to see what Insomniac does with Spider-Man. I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, Batman did well.
Well, yeah, Batman, but that's not so much like superhero craze. It's just like I just think that character works so well with
That's true.
the idea of playing a video game, you know?
Because he's not a super, or he doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
like all the gadgets to use, and there's puzzle solving,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. So it kind of works really well with that medium, you know. Man, I don't know. I guess I think that we've already seen another trend in gaming. It's kind of a return to platformers.
You're gonna take it from me, aren't you?
Were you going to
Platform?
say platformers?
No,
sorry.
no, I wasn't.
So, but yeah, we've seen the return to kind of that platforming genre of games. It went away for a long time because zombies are always around, but zombies make for such a good like horde mode for people.
Yeah.
And horde modes are really popular to play like with your buddies, and party and just looking for something to do. So it works so well for that. I'm not sure it'll ever go away. To answer the other part of the question, if people stop buying it, it will.
I don't think it'll go away either.
And I don't. The big test is going to be how games like Days Gone perform, how like the new Walking Dead game performs. And especially if they get reviewed well but don't sell well, then we'll see it kind of taper off. But I have no reason to think that at least the Sony exclusive won't sell very, very well. Because the game looks good. It's just another zombie game, so I'm really not that interested. But I think the like special modes, like zombies in Call of Duty, like stuff like that, that's not going anywhere.
No.
Anytime soon. So, but that's mine. Graham, what do you think?
Okay. Will I think zombies will ever go away? Very doubtful, unless the sales just start completely falling off. But like Walking Dead, like Tyler said, that's a franchise that's keeping zombies alive. No pun intended. And there's lots of directions. State of Decay is coming out, which if I had to pick a zombie game to play, I think I would play that one. And because that one's gonna be on Games Pass, yes, $10, I will be playing that game. So definitely looking forward to that. As far as fad goes, if the last E3 is of any indication, or the E3 before that, I feel like we're starting to lean and sway towards pirates.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, like Sea of Thieves, that game, I'm not sure the numbers of how well the closed beta did, but I think it got really good support, and I think people are really enjoying it, and I think it's going to sell very well. And we got Skull and Bones coming out.
Yep.
That's an Ubisoft title, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So
it'll be out in 2020.
Yeah.
So, it hasn't been delayed yet, so we got a couple of those to go.
Yeah. So if that's in the indication, and if that game does get released anytime soon, and the numbers are really good, then I see other developers going towards pirates. Maybe even the game Pirates with 2 will come out. Sid Meier game.
Oh please! I
that.
need that in my life.
And
I still play it. The first one.
I'm sure Nintendo would maybe jump on this wagon and do a Pirates game. So that is my guess for next fad.
Yeah, good call.
But zombies probably will not go away. You can't kill them. They just keep coming back. So.
And now,
the other big one, just real quick, Steve, is the like VR type stuff. We also see it with Nintendo with Labo, and just kind of, it's not VR, but it's like another accessory that kind of gets you playing with something outside of what's on the screen.
Yeah.
And I see that going too, and especially if we're right in our predictions from last week and Microsoft announces some sort of VR, then everybody's got something like that, right? And I think they're going to really push hard on it. And I hope it doesn't go the way of like 3D TVs, but I'm a little concerned that it will, because VR has so much promise, but every VR game looks like it was released on like PlayStation 1. We just don't see like the AAA big time graphics yet. So, thoughts?
I mean, I kind of agree with that, but I think it's more due to the fact that if AAA develops for VR, they're not going to see a lot of return just because the market's not there yet.
Right.
Once they expand out and we get some more people buying VR, and once it gets a little cheaper, I think, too.
Sure. But it's kind of chicken or the egg, right? It's like,
true.
Are developers waiting to develop until people buy it, or are people waiting to buy it until they see AAA titles?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know. But All right. Anything else this week? guys?
Well, going back
Yeah.
to the Pirates though, real quick.
Sure.
Like now is like the perfect time for that, just because you have this like online connected world, and it makes for pirate games fun because you can
Yes.
fight other pirates. Whereas like beforehand, I know they tried like I think they made a Pirates MMO based on like Pirates of the Caribbean, and it did not work very well.
Yeah, I was just
And,
gonna
like-
say, like, if they make kind of like a Fallout and Pirates like kind of world, that would be pretty
That
cool.
would be cool.
That would-
Yeah, it's one of those things where it just came around at the wrong time, like the stars did not align. So, because you had the Pirates phase big when the Pirates of the Caribbean movies were new, but the technology wasn't there to make good pirate games. So now, the movies haven't been. I mean, they just had the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which wasn't too bad, but there really hasn't been a lot of movies based on pirates. It's kind of past that point, so now they try to start it back up and get people back into it. And Sea of Thieves has done that. I've quite enjoyed being a little cartoon pirate.
And maybe there'll be a Black Flag too.
That'd be
Maybe.
interesting.
Hope not, but maybe.
Yeah.
Hope not. You didn't enjoy the first one?
No, it was good, but I like the other. Like, I would prefer to go back to like the Renaissance era.
But if they kind of like took a break, right? Like we were saying, like yearly iterations. Like what if they like just did a Black Flag 2, and then they would come back to something like that?
maybe.
The only reason I wouldn't want to see it is just because it's going back into the copycat nature, right? So
Yeah.
all of a sudden, there were a couple good Pirates games, and Skull and Bones looks like it's going to be great. Like
Yeah.
I was blown away by that at E3, and it's something we weren't expecting to see at all. We never heard of it. So that, and then Sea of Thieves is equally fun, just in a very different way. So I just don't want to see like these two games be really successful, and then everybody else be like, we need a pirate game, and have that take over half the releases in the year,
Yeah.
or half the like big releases in the year. So
You know what would
yeah, go ahead.
what would be cool is if Microsoft, in their announcement, if they do announce VR, is announce Sea of Thieves gets VR support, because that would be a fun
cool.
game
Yeah.
to play in VR. The only thing I was thinking is, imagine being drunk
Yeah, I was gonna say,
on the game, but in VR. Like, if you thought like VR created motion sickness, I think that would probably do a lot of people in.
And
If
it
you-
might anyway, just being on the ship with the ship
that's
rocking up
true.
and down.
Yeah,
But it would, that'd be really cool. That'd be fun.
you gotta take some
Especially if you
time.
could integrate it to where like people could play on VR with people that didn't have VR,
Yes.
and do it that way. That would be awesome. So, all right, guys. Anything else?
No, it does it for questions.
Cool. So let's get out of here. So again, thank you everybody that kind of joined up recently. We appreciate you joining in, and please, everybody that hasn't joined in like our Facebook group or Discord yet, please do that. Become part of the community. We get some good discussion going, and we give away prizes all the time to people who submit questions, just like the 3 we read tonight. So, and
You
a lot
like
more
prizes,
questions
don't
this
you?
week. Yeah. So the more people we get in our community, the more giveaways we're going to do. So we look forward to doing that. We want to. We just want to make sure that we've got a good, healthy community going. So it's kind of vibrant, and we're getting some good discussion, and makes for a better show. So we get a lot of our ideas of what to talk about from you. So we appreciate it. That's going to do it, everybody, for episode number 81. We'll be back next week with episode number 82. For Graham and Steve, I'm Tyler saying thank you so much for joining us for episode 81 of the Gaming Hub podcast. We'll be back next week. Until then, everybody, have a great week. Play some new games, and we'll talk to you soon.
Be safe,
the
everyone.
weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you're so inclined.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.